People have to wonder, where does Sunny Hostin get her opinions?
Yeah.
Like you said, it's obviously from her husband. She has to tell her what to say on The View, because without it, she's got nothing up there. She's not very bright. But the problem with her is that she went full racist.
One of The View's most vocal and controversial personalities, Sunny Hostin, was recently embroiled in a scandal so ironic it might have been lifted straight out of a parody. She is well known for her daring opinions on identity politics and racial reparations. Sunny has established her position on a strong feeling of moral superiority and has made a career out of vocally denouncing racial injustice. As a result, when she appeared on viewers of PBS's Finding Your Roots, a program where celebrities reveal their family histories, anticipated another instance in which Sunny's personal story would support her public position. After all, considering how outspoken she is about racial justice, you would think she has her own family history figured out. However, what Sunny revealed on that show was astounding, leaving both her and the internet in complete shock.
Sunny Hostin. Sounds like a town. We're in Sunny Hostin. She was on PBS's Finding Your Roots, a show dedicated to researching celebrity ancestry. For context, Sunny is a staunch supporter of reparations and has made a fortune spewing nonsense about white privilege and racial justice. Well, turns out she's not as oppressed as she claims she is. She's actually the descendant of slave owners from...
As Sunny sat across from famed genealogist Henry Louis Gates Jr., eager to unravel the mysteries of her ancestry, she had no idea that the bombshell that awaited her would completely upend her world. However, before we get into the juicy drama, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to ensure you don't miss any of the most recent Hollywood rumors. Yes, our forefathers were slave owners, not disadvantaged minority or impoverished immigrants. The woman who spent years opposing the legacy of slavery and campaigning for reparations, Sunny Hostin, was shocked and uncomfortable when she learned that her own family had profited directly from the system she had been criticizing.
Wow. I'm a little bit in shock. I just always thought of myself as Puerto Rican, you know, half Puerto Rican. I didn't think I was, my family was originally from Spain and slaveholders.
Yeah. So how are you feeling, my friend?
I think it's actually pretty interesting that my husband and I have shared roots.
Yeah.
So I do appreciate that. And I think it's great for our children to know this information. I guess it's a fact of life that this is how some people made their living. On the back.
She was obviously having trouble processing the revelation as she blinked. As the professional that she is, Sunny tried to salvage the moment by muttering something about how this would be an interesting tidbit for her kids to learn. But let's face it, the room fell silent for a moment, and she stammered almost as if the words were foreign to her. I didn't think my family was originally from Spain or slaveholders. In all honesty, the damage had already been done, and Fox News' Greg Goodell quickly joined in on the fun if irony had a prize. Greg just got it right away, opening his section with a joke that was spot on. When the audience discovered that Sunny Host's ancestors had owned slaves, it was like learning that a vegan had owned a BBQ restaurant. Greg quickly exposed the hypocrisy.
People have to wonder, where does Sunny Hostin get her opinions?
Yeah.
Like you said, it's obviously from her husband. She has to tell her what to say on The View, because without it, she's got nothing up there. She's not very bright. But the problem with her is that she went full racist. She injected skin color into a fairly generic behavior seen in all spouses. Regardless of skin color, people marry, they listen to each other, they have something in common with them, they share their political views. She just didn't want to upset her husband by saying her husband makes her do everything, and then she'd have to accuse him of being a racist. Because if he told her that this is what white women do, then he's a racist.
Sunny has been eager to criticize others for their previous transgressions, but Greg pointed out a clear double standard in her own background. The next time Sunny uses the race card on The View, someone will tell her that at least we are not bigoted slave owners. He made a joke, but it wasn't just for chuckles. Greg also criticized Sunny's total lack of responsibility, which many found concerning. Rather of expressing regret or providing a more thorough analysis of her family's history, Sunny dismissed it as a fact of life. Naturally, social media erupted as soon as the revelation was made public. Many of the replies on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok were funny. One tweet said, Sunny Hoon found out the year's biggest storyline revelation was that the family owned slaves, and naturally memes flooded the internet, with one of the most popular being a parody of Sunny with the tagline reparations. It's not about condemning her for what her ancestors did, one commenter commented, while others were less forgiving. Let me send the check to myself quickly. Some of her admirers attempted to defend her, suggesting that she shouldn't be held liable for her ancestors' acts. Shaming others while ignoring the skeletons in your own closet is hypocritical. Beyond Sunny, Greg took advantage of the occasion to criticize identity politics more broadly, arguing that it oversimplifies difficult subjects.
Quote, a lens of empathy. Debate highlights ableism in politics. Pat Fetterman can do for disability what Obama did for race.
Say what?
See, because when all else fails, use identity politics. But MSNBC's Lawrence O'Donnell went a step
He
further.
claimed that when you concentrate too much on race, you lose sight of the person, the background, and the subtlety. He also underlined the significance of personal responsibility, saying that it's not about who your ancestors were, but rather about what you do today. Sunny has been lecturing others for years. Perhaps it's time for her to take a serious look in the mirror. This whole situation raises some significant issues regarding how we handle historical accountability. Should someone who constantly criticizes people for the deeds of their ancestors like Sunny be held to the same standard? Or is it sufficient to just acknowledge the past without allowing it to define
These elites are so isolated, they've forgotten that most Americans don't get paid to sit in a comfy chair pontificating about everything all day. Nope, some of us are cameramen whose names I don't know. But maybe one day when we finally strip away this phony race war, it will finally expose this elite mentality. And we'll find out Sunny is just like Marie Antoinette, except she says, let me be
Greg's
king.
panel was having a great time with this one co-host who asked if Sunny had been embarrassing. It's funny how enmeshed she is in identity politics. It turns out that she didn't even know who she was while the internet had a field day at Sunny's expense. Does she now have to embarrass herself further? Some pointed out that rather than dismissing it as a fact of life, she could have used the revelation to start a more in-depth discussion about history, identity, and the complexities of her own family's past. What if she had said, I've learned something surprising about my family, and it's making me rethink how I approach these conversations. Instead, she simply shrugged and quickly shifted. Even Sunny's co-host on The View, who is known for her sharp wit, seemed unsure of how to respond. Goldberg, who might have been holding back a joke like, Sunny, do you want me to get you coffee? Or should we ask your slave-holding ancestors for a refill?
Make fun of The View a lot, but that's only because they keep talking. Those hens are always clucking. They get to say stupid stuff for an hour every day, and then I get to say stupid stuff for an hour every day, except on purpose. But every now and then, one of those dingbats inadvertently says something that reveals modern liberal thought so perfectly, it deserves further study. You know, like a weird serpent that washed up on the beach and you want to poke it with a
Ultimately, this is a warning and not simply about sunshine, story about the value of humility and the perils of self-righteousness. Since history is convoluted, confusing, and frequently uncomfortable, and since its shadow haunts all of us, it is crucial that we approach these delicate subjects with grace, self-awareness, and an openness to learning. As Greg Gutfeld aptly stated, that when you search for racism everywhere in life, it eventually finds you, and for Sunny, it was right there in her family tree. What will happen next? Will she face this irony head-on, or will she carry on as if nothing happened? Only time will tell, but one thing is certain. This story will be discussed for a very long time, and who knows, maybe the next time she gives a lecture on American history, she will think twice before hurling stones from her glass ancestral home. If you liked this video, please remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.